All right, so here we are. We're going to be talking with Astralis. We're going to be getting to know the guys a little bit better. We're going to be getting to know what happens inside of the team, how the vibes are. I'm going to start off super general, right? So like we're not going to like go into the nitty-gritty of Counter-Strike straight away. I'd love to go around the table and for everyone to kind of tell me, like, you know, how'd you get into CS in the first place? You know, like what happened there? So we'll start down on your end. How'd you get into Counter-Strike, bro?
I mean, just playing Counter-Strike, it's just because my brother played it, and then I started at the...
There's always a brother, man. There's always a brother.
The good old... Then I started in Counter-Strike Source, right? But to get in the professional scene, it was kind of random. Like, I just got a kind of matchmaking team, and then I got a team in the Danish division, and then I just went fast.
Damn.
Pretty easy, pretty fast.
Kind of on the grind
Not
from
really,
MM straight away.
Not really interesting story. But.
Okay, no, dude, no, I like this. Okay, what about you?
Yeah, to be honest, I actually really don't know, but I think it's because of my friend's brother.
Oh,
He played, and then we saw him play, and then we wanted to play as well, and then we started, and now we're here.
You like borrowed a brother to bring
Yeah,
you in.
basically.
Stan, how'd you do it?
Yeah, same.
Oh man, this is so good.
Yeah, from my brothers. Yeah, I started pretty early. I think I was around 6 or 7 years old when I first touched the keyboard and mouse.
6 or 7.
CS. So yeah.
Man, you guys start young out in Denmark at the gaming. All right then. blameF, what about you? Sisters or something like?
No, nothing like that. But I played some 1.6 back in the days, and then I had like a long break for a couple of years when CS:GO came out, and then. One day when I was in high school, Yuki wrote me, because I played with him back in 1.6. Yeah, so he wrote me and said, like, come and play with the old boys, like we're playing this new CSGO thing. And I just bored one night, and I played with him, and then I just started playing from high school there. And then
oh, dude, okay, no, but this is sick. Like, so one of the things I'm noticing is, like, you all started, like, young, right? Like, playing games young. Is that like a common, you know, I kind of know it is already. Like in Denmark, CS is a very big deal. Like it's understood by a lot of people. Feel like any like taxi I get in, even I'll speak to the person driving it like about Counter-Strike. Everyone seems aware of the phenomenon that is Counter-Strike out in Denmark. Do you find that you get like a lot of kind of support just from like the country almost? Like the fact that it's so accepted there, you don't necessarily have to like, you know, sell your parents super hard when you're like a kid putting in the hours on a bit of Counter-Strike. You don't have to like sell the premise of a video game. Like, you know, they kind of get it already. Do you feel that's fair?
I mean, I feel like nowadays, I think the parents get it more.
Yeah.
When we were younger, I think it was still a bit hard to like get them to understand. But nowadays, for sure, like it's like you say, it's really big in Denmark, and everyone knows Astralis in Denmark and follows CS, I think, in some kind of way. So, yeah, it's nice.
I want to come back to you then, because you said you started with a little MM team, right? Talk me back to that. You remember the guys you were playing with? Were they like real life friends, or were they people you met online?
It was 2 from my what's called primary school, and then 2 online. So it was a mix.
Oh, dude, that's sick, man. Are they still playing?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Come on,
They didn't make it. Unfortunately.
Okay. I'll take us on to our next thing, right? Which was I was curious if you guys actually like outside of Counter-Strike. Is there any other games in your life? Do you have room for any other games? Are we gamers or are we Counter-Strike players? What's the vibe there?
I mean, I think I have like teamfight tactics to play sometimes when I'm bored, just like chilling.
TFT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like in the evening, you know, chilling, but nothing else really. Like no FPS games or anything like that.
Okay. Are you playing anything right now, bro?
I mean, I downloaded TFT as well, but I haven't started played it yet.
The Astralis in-house TFT tournaments are about to start taking place, bro.
Yeah, but he's a nerd in it, so
it's like no fun to play with him because he's just
I can't.
operating up here and you're like brand new. Okay, well, like, but so maybe then like not right now, but when you were younger, were you into anything else?
I think I played a lot of different games actually. Also on PlayStation, I think everyone has played a lot of Call of Duty and stuff like that. Right. So yeah, I mean, I played a lot of different games.
In a different universe. They could have been COD Pro, happy out there, and you know, tearing up the streets. That would have been crazy, Stan, man. I see you, dude. I see you play other games.
No, I actually don't. I mean, when I was younger, I played a lot of Diablo actually.
Oh, really, bro? It would have been Diablo.
Yeah. But no, like for the past many years, I haven't played really any other.
Now, I can imagine this takes up a lot of the time frame, right? Like you don't want to get off of CS and then be like, oh, time to boot up Halo Infinite.
And the thing is, like, a lot of the other games are exciting as well. Like I know, you know, and if I get into it, I will probably get like I want to play it more, you know, and that's like I need to focus.
Yeah, you don't want distractions. I get that. Blame, come on, you must play other games like. I played booting up League of Legends every now and
again.
Not
League of Legends, but I played Dota sometimes with my cousin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's mostly fun when I'm playing with some people I know, so we can sit and try hard.
Yeah.
But I think it just comes in periods. I think it usually.
You're so competitive, aren't you, man?
I love that, but I'm not very good at it, so it's hard to be competitive in that game. But yeah, it just comes in periods. I think when we have like a lot of practice days maybe, or like not a tournament, of course. Never open up another game at tournaments or close to tournaments, but just maybe if we have vacation or something, then I start playing a little bit, and then sometimes it fades out a little bit, and then the next vacation it starts again. So yeah just comes in.
No, bro, that's good. Do you follow like any of the for Dota? Do you follow like the esports scene at all? Or
I don't follow anything, but I like to watch like if there's very big games, if there's like a big final or something, then I sometimes maybe have it on the second screen or something.
That's cool, man. I like the idea of you like while you're like doing some, I don't know, maybe you're doing a bit of like casual VOD review. You got like a demo loaded up. You're glancing over, like learning some gnarly like pudge play or something like that, bro. No, it's cool. It's cool. Okay. So we've established, kind of gamers, but more so CS players. blameF maybe like the one exception. He's still getting some Dota in there, which is good to see. Okay, so I want to now like home in a little bit more on like the CS angle, because that's kind of why you guys are here. And I wanted to start. I'll start down this end of the table actually, so we don't just follow the same pattern every time. I wanted to talk like philosophy behind like how you view the game, right, as individuals, and how that ties into the roles that you play. So Blame, in terms of like leadership, what sort of philosophy have you looked to instill within the teams that you've been a part of? Because obviously you have like a very defined, style of how you like to play. Could you give some insight into how you arrived at that? Like, how you arrived to your vision of the game?
I think that's a very broad question.
Yeah, man. No, we can home in on some key bits, but
I'm not sure if you want to talk about like the IGL part of things.
Let's go IGLing.
I think for me as an IGL, I think the most important thing is to like listen to the players. I try to always like listen to the players and ask the players always like, if they don't like the strat or don't like the positions or don't like the position they get in both early and late round, I try to always like talk to them and ask if they think it's good, because I think the best way to build a good team is that if all the players think that they get into somewhat good positions, or some people have to sometimes get into bad positions. But yeah, I think it's a lot about that. And then I try to let the players dictate a lot. Like I try to like build like defaults and stuff that's built around what the players like to do. So I think it's my responsibility as an IGL to build more like the overall system of how everything's gonna fit together, make sure the stuff looks the same and we're hard to read, and we do things that can end up in multiple different choices late round, but early round, like they can maybe like it's more based around like if someone a player in my team says like when I take map control in this area, I like to do it in this specific way, then I let him do that. But then I try to like figure out a way that it makes sense for the rest of the map as well. So I'm gonna tell like, okay, if you like to do this, guys, what are you on the other side of the map? What are you guys gonna do then when he likes to do this? So try to like get the conversation going of making it make sense, I guess.
No, I really like that. So you're like trying to marry like the comfort of like the micro for, like say this down comes over and he goes like, man, when I'm on Ancient, I really want to be getting, like a nice little pop up into, I don't know, let's just say like, I want to get like pop flashed in the cave. I want to be going for that fight. I want to be, and then you're like dissecting it down and you're going, okay, if this is what he wants to do, like this is what we're going to do with the rest of the guys. So you're making it work on the macro level. Yeah, like you're trying to make sure
that, And I also try to make sure that we have like, so then like that's something that maybe Stown can call, but it's, it doesn't have to be something he has to do every single round, so it's something that we have like an option as a team, and then sometime in official games that he can call it, but I can also tell him like, maybe you make this play, if it makes sense, I can ask him, because I know all of his plays a lot, because people, I don't think like, I think in this team, I know a lot of the things that the players like to do. It's not like they just like to do some stuff and I don't know it. So I can also kind of like in the game ask people sometimes like, hey, do you want to maybe make this play soon? Or like, I think it's good to make some, like mix it up or something. So yeah, I think that's like the way I approach it the most. I see like the players, because I'm talking a lot about T-side right now, I think like they have a little bit like more forward position than I have. I think like I'm a little bit more on the back, like throwing nades and stuff on a lot of the maps, at least early round. And then I try to like focus on the overall map rather than focus on like individual map control or something in my positions right now.
Okay, no. By the way, phenomenal answer, Blame. That was that was fantastic. Okay, so do you feel like then from this kind of idea, you give them a good deal of freedom? Like, would you say that's fair? Do you think Blame's giving you freedom?
Yeah, I mean,
Answer it carefully. He's right there. So,
I mean, I would say so. Yeah, I think a lot of it is right in terms of like I think he's very good at like listening to the players on the team to, like how they want to take the map control, for example, and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say so.
You guys feeling good about it? I've kind of been ignoring this side of the table. So, are you guys feeling good about Blame and his like methods here?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are you smiling so much? Oh, come on.
He's scared of him.
Man, lay it all out. If you want to tell him something, you're being filmed right now, so nothing bad.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Down said. I think there's a lot of space, and he's good at like asking how I want to lurk on T. If there's some positions where it's nice to be more aggressive, and he's good at helping, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He gives the space.
I would say basically the same. Like, he makes sure that you're feeling comfortable in what you're doing. Like, and if you don't like it, you tell it right, and we're going to fix it. So yeah, I would say it's good.
Yeah, well, so Stratting, I guess you're actually kind of an interesting one to look at next, because you're someone who has been, talked about a lot within like the Danish scene. I'm thinking back to like when you were on Sprout and whatnot. You were one of the guys we were all meant to be keeping an eye on, and you put up some phenomenal games. But obviously, now you come into like an Astralis squad where suddenly, maybe it's not like all the attention is on you being like this star. How have you kind of found that like transition, right? Because there will be a difference, for how it feels for you, and also like the numbers that you're able to put up and whatnot. So how have you found kind of dealing with that and the support that you've had?
I mean, I don't really mind not being like the star player, or whatever you want to call it, like in Sprout, where like I was set up for everything, right? I think I feel pretty good and confident in my new stuff, my new roles, and like as I said, as long as we win, then I don't care if I'm the star player or if I'm the anchor player. Like then that doesn't matter for me. As long as we like make some good runs in tournaments, win some tournaments maybe, then I'm happy. That's all I want.
All right. I'm loving this, man. I'm liking this. Okay. I now want to go on to like talking about kind of moments in your career where you leveled up, right? And what I mean by that is like, were there any games or moments from games that stood out as like a real kind of learning moment for you guys? And I'll start with you, Abby. Come on, man, let's go.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Have you? Sorry, man. I know I've gone out of order here. You were looking forward to.
I think I have one. I have one.
Okay.
I think I was in Heroic when we lost the major final. That was a tough one. That was a
moment here.
Yeah, that was a tough one, and just the way we played in that final was not like good enough for the team. And then the next tournament we were in another final, and we played 10 times better, and we won the tournament. So yeah, I think we learned a lot from that, and yeah.
Yeah. So when because I've never played in a major final. I don't know if that's common knowledge, but I've never played in one. But I can imagine, falling short there it's pretty like heartbreaking, right? Like I can imagine it's as close to tears as you'll get, like in those moments. But like, did you go back immediately and like start going to work, like kind of setting your mind to how do I not have that happen again, or did you kind of need to take a bit of distance there before you went back and reflected on everything?
Yeah, I think we talked when we came home. Obviously, it's not nice to talk about right after you lost that major final.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
I mean, I just think we talked about it and learned from it. So that's just the most important thing, yeah.
All right, then. Stan, what about you? When was your kind of level up moment?
I mean, I agree with what Jabi says as well. Maybe I could take in some different direction.
Okay.
I mean, like when I believed I could become really good at the game, or like I can go really far with this. I think it was when I was how old was I even there? I don't know, 14 maybe. Or
okay.
Or 15 or something like that. When we won, it was like just a local LAN at Copenhagen Games actually. In Denmark, we won the Danish championship when we beat I remember Tricked. Back then, they were pretty good.
Oh, damn.
On the stage there back then, and Singularity as well, who won Copenhagen Games. Like we won that tournament, and it was like kind of an upset for us back then in Fractors. So I mean, I remember like that tournament when we won that one. Like those teams, like I felt at least personally that okay, like
that was when you got like far, your pull in, you kind of realized like, damn, okay, like we can do some damage here. Like exactly. I can do something. Yeah, that's cool. Blame. What about you, man? Have you had one of these kind of these moments where suddenly it all became clear? Because I even think back to like how you originally like joined that complexity team was like wild. Like. Packing everything up, moving out towards NA, like kind of wild.
I definitely think that's like the moment for me as well. I think the biggest moment for me was when we played Astralis actually in like the blast groups or something of the, I don't know, I think it was 2020 or something.
In London?
Yeah, in London. We beat them 2-0 and we came in like this group of death with Vitality, Na'Vi and Astralis and like the 3 best teams in the world or something like that. But Astralis just had that insane streak on LAN, like they were winning everything on LAN, and we had a new team, so we had like 1 month of practice or something before this event. And the way like we started out the team in complexity was actually like we needed to find an identity. And like a lot of the way we learned on the maps was like we were watching Astralis, how they played on the maps to like kind of figure out how we want to play to get some inspiration. And then we figured out like a couple of weeks later, okay, you're playing Astralis, and we're like, this is pretty good because we've been sitting and watching all the demos just to learn. Like we try to like understand how they play like on a deeper level than just doing anti-strat. So then we figure out you're gonna play them, and we're like, that's actually pretty good because we've been sitting and watching the demos for so long to figure out how to play these maps. And then we beat them 2-0, and that was just like a good feeling because before that I was in Heroic and we could sometimes make some upsets, but it wasn't like upsetting Astralis on LAN, So it was just, that was like a moment where I thought like, okay, as an IGL on a new team, you can still beat Astralis, then you can probably also beat some of the other teams,
Yeah, and would you say that sort of, because like, I don't think that Astralis were a pretty safe team to look at to like build your foundations back then, but a lot of teams had tried and failed to anti-strat or learn too much from Astralis. It felt like they were kind of the immovable object, like you could never get past them as much as you would try. And for you to kind of feel like you'd piece together why they're doing what they're doing, how they're doing it, like, and you drawing the inspiration from that, was that like, you're saying that was kind of
I think so for sure. But I also think like the prep we did for that match was like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So that's something you cannot, we also said after the game, we cannot do that ever again. That was crazy. We had like the most crazy like nade stacks, like on Dust, where we like when 2 guys on T-shirt, when 2 guys into the long house and bounce naded into long house, so it went out close to the door because we knew Glaive always like smoked and went close anti-flash. Just some really weird stuff that is like, if you do that for every game, you can't really play your own game. But at that point, we didn't have our own game yet, so that's why it made it easier to anti-strat, I think. So, but it was just one off.
That's actually sick. Go on, Instead. Have you had your level up moment, man? When was it?
Yeah, it was in Sprout once again at the Amar in Malta. We were 2-1, and then we met Bait, which is, I would say, a pretty good matchup when you're 2-1 at the Amar, right? And then like we were kind of struggling against them, even though we almost beat FaZe the day before, and I was like mentally like I just like had to reset, right? And then I thought about like how can this happen, kinda, and like we talked about it as a team, because when you almost beat FaZe, that was the best in the world at that time, and then you struggle against B8, something's wrong, right? And then it was 1-1 maps, and like I don't know, I just learned that like you can always get more focused and like get into the game, right? And then the next map, like I gave it all, and like instead of giving like 100%, I gave 120%, and it was just easy again, kinda. Like everyone just gave it all, and that's like I just learned you can always do more than what you feel like, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, but like that is like a hard skill to kind of drill into yourself, right? Is like when you're at what should be your lowest in a sense, right? Like, maybe you're just falling behind, and so you kind of feel like a game's slipping away, or like you say, like the day before you were beating a team that's way better, and so now suddenly like, why are we struggling versus these guys? It's actually like a really hard skill to kind of, use that to drive yourself forward, right? Is that something that you would say, like as a team, have you had much conversation on like how to deal with not just like the losses, but games that are like getting away from you, like how to kind of channel back in? Is that something you guys feel quite good at, quite adept at? Blame, I'll come to you because you're kind of the brains here.
I don't think we're quite there yet where we feel like we can just always be like at 120%, but I think we're having a lot of conversations at least of like how we can activate each other in certain situations. You know, if someone has a bad game or someone maybe has a very good game, like how we should like react in those moments, so it benefits everyone from the team. So I think we have like a lot of conversations about that, but maybe don't think we're quite there yet where we can confidently say like, yeah, we can have like a 0-7 start and still be like 120% the rest of the game, you know. So
would you say you've gotten good like at picking up on like the tells of you know, like your different teammates maybe like tilting or like getting just a bit out of the game? Because you know, not everyone's like a straight up rager. They're not gonna, you know, Stanley gonna sit there and be like, man, we suck, bro. Like, you know, he's not gonna, it's not like that obvious, right? Like sometimes they just get a little quieter, or like the plays get a little more tame, and suddenly like, you know, you're not operating how you're used to. Would you say you've gotten quite good at like kind of picking up on if anyone is getting like just a bit in their head?
I think it's easy to tell for sure, but I think it's also like just how we fix it as a team isn't easy, because we haven't played that long time with each other. I don't think we have played that many officials. I think you need maybe like 5-6 big tournaments more before you can actually make like those adjustments like every time. So I think it's something that definitely needs some time before it happens. But I think it's always easy to know when a teammate is down. I think even if I don't know the guy, I can easily tell. I think if a teammate is down, like if you stop communicating or something. But yeah, I think we need more time to be good at that aspect.
Okay, yeah. Well, so like Gabby, you know, if Stan was having a rough game, I don't know why I keep using you as an example, Stan. Like you're actually fantastic. I need to just throw that out there,
go on.
You're just so smiley, and like, you know, I feel like you can take it 100%. So,
I can take it.
You know, Gabby, if Stan was having a bit of a rough, right? Like, how do you try bringing him back in? Are you because you guys have played together a long while now, right? So if your mate Stan is having a bit of a rough day in the office, how do you try to get him activated? Do you have any like secret sauce there?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about what people like in the team, and I know what he likes to get in the game.
That's what you like, man.
In the game.
Okay.
So obviously it's all about doing that. It's a lot of small things, I would say, that can hype him up, I would say. Yeah. I can't tell all the secrets here.
No, okay, fine, okay. Are you guys all social media trained? Have you had that?
No, never.
No, never?
Actually,
No, me either. So don't worry, we're all just as qualified as each other here, honestly. Blame could be running the whole podcast, I'm convinced. But okay. I wanted to know a little bit then, because obviously there's one other Astralis member. People might have heard of him, Device, right? He's a pretty big deal out in Denmark. You know, what does he bring to the table? Because he certainly ain't at this table. So he's not here to speak for himself. You know, what's that been like? Because obviously, legend of the Danish scene, legend outside of the Danish scene, very big name. And when he announced his return, it was like, oh my God, is he going to be good? Man, he's better than good. You know, it's been a treat seeing Device come back. So what's it been like playing with him? I'll start with you, Stan. Come on.
Yeah, so, I mean, we haven't played that long together yet, but I feel like he brings just a lot of experience and like calmness in general, which is like really beneficial for this team, I think. You know, he's done it all, you know, like he's won majors, won all the big tournaments, and he's been through it all. So in that sense, I think it gives like, a good vibe to the team in that sense. And like for the in-game stuff, he's just, he's very skilled, you know. I think, for me, he just like plays with the flow when he's at his best, you know, and he's just like things come natural to him, and I feel like he's just like when he is at his best, I think he's one of the like hardest orbers to play against, because he's just so smart and so calculated. It just feels like he can't do a mistake when he's at his best, you know, and he rarely misses his shots. So. Yeah.
Do you still watch, you know, if he's doing like one of those kind of classic Device moments and he's just getting away with like something out of this world, is it still mind-blowing to you, even though like, you know, you're on the team with the guy, you've kind of been operating at the top level for a long time now? Does anything surprise you that he gets away with?
I mean, it's always different, like watching it in person, you know, when you're spectating. But so like there comes a lot of hype, you know, when he does that. So.
All right, then, how have you found it? Because I think your perception might be kind of cooler, what with, you know, even though you've been someone who's been talked about for ages and have played at the top level, you know, you're not like as kind of experienced as the rest of the gang. So how's it been for you?
It's been amazing, of course. I mean, a good word that Stavn uses is that he's very calm, right? And he's also the first AWPer that like knows how to set himself up and his teammates up. Like he knows what he wants to do, and like he also often come with new moves for himself. Like I want to do this, and then you can do this, right? So he's not only talking about himself, but also what his teammates can do for him, which is like a pretty important, like key aspect to be able to do. I would say not only playing for himself, but actually bringing in the team with his moves, right? So yeah, that's a very good thing about him. And then as Down said, he rarely misses, right? So you can always trust when he holds an angle, he will die. Your enemies will die. So like yeah, just insanely good player.
I sometimes wonder, like, it must make, like, one of the things we sometimes say whenever he is having a good game is we'll say like, oh, this is a treat for Blame. Like must make the calls so easy to just know that like an area of the map will be locked down by that AWP, like nothing's gonna get through. Do you find that like when he's in his flow state, does that make your life just a bit more of a breeze because you don't really have to worry as much? And linking in what Stair said, are you liking the whole angle of kind of him, always showing up with like little ideas or things that he wants to try? I imagine that helps you a lot as the guy trying to bring it all together, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think I like that aspect about the whole team. I think everyone in this team honestly can sometimes say like, I have a good feeling about this. Can I do this? And then I can call around that. It makes it easier that I don't have to sit every time in spawn and make like a boring call. But sometimes when someone says like, can I do this? Then it makes it easy for you to like mix up the play style. That's the best way I think of like being hard to read. But yeah, I think if you put Device in good situations, I think he's gonna like do what you like you said there. He's gonna lock it down like after plan. Like if you put him in a good after plan, he can easily win like a 4-on-2 situation or something like that. Like he will kill the 2 or 3 first people with the AWP, So I think it's just about putting him in some situations he likes. And as Star said, he's very good at telling like, I want to be put in this situation, and I like to do this, and then of course we let him do that, and then it turns out good.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been someone who could be very like self-sufficient, and like you say, like he'll set up the team while also kind of setting himself up well. And I feel like, especially when we moved to CS2, there was like a bit of a hit for AWPers early on, right? And a lot of AWPs are already trending towards being like the guys throwing a lot of the flashes, a lot of the util. The fact that this like skill set kind of feels like something Device was already nailing down, and then like we come into CS2 and we have AWPers maybe take a bit of a hit early on and like have to try and build up the AWP not feeling as strong as it once was. Do you think that that's like been helpful, because you already have a guy who's kind of been doing exactly this, right? Like setting up the rest of the gang, making sure everyone else is comfortable, and then still like nailing down his lane on the big green. Has that been good?
I mean, I think it's just like I said before that, maybe AWPers sometimes are throwing more like nades in early of the round, but then late round they're being set up in very good position. Like in an after planned situation, I think the AWPers are just having so many free shots. You're just gonna get 2 or 3 kills if they try to retake, if they don't have good utility left. So yeah, I think it's easy like that. And then he's also playing with, as I said before, some very good rifles in the team. So I think it's also easier for him to like put some of that responsibility away maybe, and say like he doesn't need to be the guy winning us the first 30 seconds of the round. Maybe we have a lot of rifles that can do the moves early in the round and make sure that he's set up for success later in the round. So I think it's a fine dynamic.
Okay, yeah. And so, I'm getting the vibe then that like the kind of synergy in the Astralis camp and the vibes right now are pretty damn good, like you're singing the praises of everyone, like you're talking about like the kind of freedoms that you guys have, and like the ability to come in and maybe make a call, and you'll be able to do stuff around that because you have a great understanding of how everyone gels together. Is it safe to say that coming into the KO, you guys are feeling pretty confident?
Yeah, I mean we did good in the last tournament.
Smile, man, I love it. Dude. You always crack a little smile at the start of these, bro.
You make me smile.
No, okay, I love that.
I mean,
I love you, bro.
Yeah, I think we're coming in pretty confident. Our first tournament with Astralis, me and Star was not that good in Dubai, but after the break we managed to evolve many things in the team, and yeah, I just think that worked out pretty well, and yeah, let's see how it goes.
How much you play over the break?
Not much over the break.
No, but then like once the break was off,
yeah, we started a bit early, I think. I don't know, but yeah, I mean now it's grind time.
Yeah, it's grind. I like that, Ray. I like that. Put that on a T-shirt with some Astralis branding. Let's go. It's grind time. Okay, then. So I I have one thing wrote down, and we kind of touched upon it earlier, but one of the things I always note about like Danish Counter-Strike is there is like a good level of kind of structural support in terms of, you know, I see it at like different educational kind of institutions. You know, they'll like have CS teams and whatnot. You'll have, I think I've seen like literal Danish royalty with you guys, right? So, you know, is kind of having that, I don't know if it's the right word, but like institutional support there. The idea that, you know, these prominent figures within like government and whatnot are rooting for you guys. Is that kind of sick? Is that something you guys think about? And do you think that's going to help the next generation of like Danish talent? Because I don't know if this was something you guys got to experience when like you were on the come up. Like you said earlier, Stan, you know, it took a little while for like things to catch up there, but now everyone kind of gets it. Do you think this is going to help, you know, the future generation of Danish stars?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think, like, as I also said in the beginning, like, I think nowadays it's just much more like a normal thing to do, you know? And also, like, in general, like, the whole world, you know, like, you get a baby, you know, and the first thing they get is an iPad in their hand, you know? So, that's the state of the world right now. Good or bad? I don't know.
No,
but,
okay. I like that. That's good. It's actually kind of
that's another conversation. But I don't think too much about it. Like, to be honest, I haven't been on in Astralis that long as well, because for sure Astralis in general is just like a much bigger brand in Denmark than Heroic was, for sure. But for me, I just think about the CS and just being with the team and just playing CS. But overall, like, the support is definitely much bigger now, and I think also like the level of competition is like for sure also much stronger now, right? Because so many is playing, and like,
you kind of have to be really good if you insanely good if you want to even break through, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah. So, but that's the thing.
Okay, no, I like that. Well, you know, because we all remember like. With you know, like the kind of Nips of old and even like in the Polish scene, one of the problems they had was like when their top teams kind of, you know, just aged out essentially, like there wasn't really like that kind of crop of players to choose from to rebuild, like, you know, a national squad. So is that something you're feeling like Denmark has down pat, right? There is a rich plethora of players to kind of pick and choose from, or do you feel like there's still more that needs to be done to that end? Liam, I'll come to you because I can see you kind of, you know, you're giving a little look around, and this is interesting.
I mean, I've been part of a team with many roster changes over the last 2 years, and there's been many conversations about who we should get and stuff, but not that I've been part of very many of them, but yeah, I don't think, maybe, you know, it wasn't easy for Astralis at least to pick out a big bright talent. Right. I can say that, you know, without anyone's feeling, I think, in the past 2 years maybe. So maybe it's, you know, maybe it's not that obvious.
Okay.
I think a lot of the players that are, as you said, like looks like something that could be like very good for the future are like already playing semi-pro or something. Yeah. I don't think it's like you could go down to like the institution you said and see like a completely new player and be like, that guy should be like going straight to the tier 1 scene. So
but would you say that like these players are getting like the fundamentals, right? But it's like moving beyond that and kind of like taking it to the tier, you know, like obviously taking it to the tier 1 is something you can only really do by being in the tier 1.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just easier for them to form like a path downward towards being a pro, because it's more accepted for their families and stuff. I think maybe that's like the biggest aspect, at least for what I think. I don't know. I think maybe it's like the generation before or after me, like that's gonna benefit a lot from it. But I think it's more like it's just easier for them to talk about their family. Like, I'm gonna sit and grind this game at night because they see that they're teaching me this at school, and maybe they see Astralis in the TV and that kind of stuff. Maybe that's like the biggest like benefit for them. Rather than, you know, maybe, I don't know how much they're getting taught, but I'm assuming it's like 1 or 2 hours some of the days in the week. I don't think that's like the biggest difference maker. I think maybe the difference maker is that you're in an environment where you have teachers talking about Counter-Strike and your friends are talking about Counter-Strike, and you're just in an environment where it's acceptable a lot. I also noticed that sometimes when fans comes up, like even the parents like, yeah, he's going on this like school and he's teaching him, he's loving it and it's very fun, and then the parents can also understand it, and then it's not as hard for like a 13-year-old guy or boy to say like to his mom, like, I really want to sit and play all Saturday.
Yeah.
You know,
No, and dude, I feel that, you know, I grew up in a little small town in the UK, bro. Like, no one knows Counter-Strike. No one even really knows what a computer is where I'm from, you know? Like, so having that, like, divide kind of bridged and, you know, it already taken care of a lot of the kind of awkward conversation. You don't have to even explain it, you know, like they already have the base level understanding. And like you said, they see it on the TV and whatnot, man. Like that's a very good way of, you know, legitimizing the whole thing and making sure that there is, you know, people on board with kind of getting the future stars of Denmark even into the competition in the first place. No, that was a lovely point. Thank you, man. Okay, so I'll close this out. I have one more, it was actually like, it's another one towards blameF. Sorry, guys. Like he's getting a lot of the questions today.
Mr. Captain.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, man. Well, no, but so this one.
Make it a good one.
Yeah.
Make it worth my while.
It's not that good. So no, I mean, this was actually a portion about like online criticism, right? And you're someone who has a very defined kind of way that you approach the game. And one of the things that just stuck was baitF, for crying out loud, right? And so. Well, I'll come around the table. Does blameF bait? You can answer yes or no.
No.
Does blameF bait you? Oh,
No.
No? Okay, so we got 3 no's. We got a resounding no right here from the rest of the gang. I would love to know then, like, you know, when you see all this stuff and you see the bait, is that something that does that ever play on your mind? You know, do you ever think about it?
I think at one point it was like justifiable. I think is the right word. Like I think like when I was in complexity, I was a very like baity, I would say.
Okay.
But I think also like the team I came into was just like a team. I think that's actually like defined my playstyle a lot in complexity because I came into a team with Rush, Oboe, Poison, and Config, and just to be completely honest, they were all completely mad. Like the way they played Counter-Strike, they were so aggressive, all of them, and someone had to be like.
And so you had to be the guy, like playing at the
I don't think like in heroic before complexity, I don't think I was very like a passive. I actually liked being a little bit aggressive back then.
Yeah.
But in complexity, I just had to like adapt my playstyle to those 4 crazy guys who never stopped running, and I think it did get like too passive. Like I think like my lurks did get like too readable and like too slow. But I think like over the time, like in Astralis, I've definitely been like trying to like put myself more in aggressive situations, way more than I did in complexity. So I don't really think it's justifiable anymore. But the meme has still stuck, and I think it's fine if people wanna meme about it for sure. But I don't think it's like. I think some people
not applicable now.
I think people still judge me off how I played maybe like three years ago.
Yeah. There's like this lag time between people like drawing the connections of.
The only thing I think it's annoying for me is like there is tournaments where I'm like going for like a lot of entries and like doing very good entries, but I won't get any like positive talk for that.
No.
They'll
home it on the one round.
They will find the one round where I'm passive, and then they will judge me off that. And I think that can maybe annoy me a little bit because I do put a lot of thought into how I play. So when someone just wants to judge me based off a meme, I know it's a meme, so I know like it's just fun for people to spam, you know. But then I think it's annoys me a little bit. But yeah, I just honestly just care about winning because I don't get much out of baiting, you know, like it's not it's very rarely.
It's not about you, it's about the team, and it's about winning as a team.
It's very rarely someone goes like, oh, Blame had a good game, he's good, like, you know. So it's not like I'm getting a lot of like positive out of you know, like that. So I just want to win with the team, and I also try in this new lineup to give a lot of space to the other players and everything. So I just hope that this is the lineup that you know, I can win something.
It all gets proven right with, you know. This is the one. So. Oh man, well, it's been really good chatting to you guys. Didn't 50 minutes just fly by? My God, right?
Was that 50?
Yeah, great. Okay, so Blame, Stown, Yavi, thank you so much for coming here and hanging out with me and having a little chat about everything. That was Astralis, and they're going to be playing in Katowice, so be sure to catch them then.